So, ladies and gentlemen, this session will explore the evolution of digital money, including tokenized deposits, stablecoins, and CBDCs, and their potential to enhance financial inclusions and market stability in Indonesia. And for the fourth panel discussion will be moderated by Bapak Tigran Adiwirya as a co-CEO of D3 Labs. So please welcome Bapak Tigran Adiwirya, our moderator.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Bapak. Thank you very much for every one of you. I hope you had a great lunch today. So hopefully you guys can enter the room now. So yeah, today is, there are a lot of sessions that we went through this morning, but I think I would personally say, from my humble opinion, that this is one of the most exciting topics that we want to talk about. It's money on blockchain, right? So as you guys know that, this blockchain technology, it allows new capability on how we handle money and how we move money, right? And that's why it changed the taxonomy of money. So we want to delve into those three different types of money in blockchain, where there is a stable coin that is issued by a non-bank, it's a tokenized deposit, the blockchain money that issued by the bank, and then CBDC, a blockchain-based money issued by the government. So for this session, I would like to invite our guest speakers today, Ibu Novi, from the director from the central bank. I would like to invite you, Ibu. So Ibu Novi is the deputy director of Department of Payment System Indonesia. So she currently holds a doctorate degree from University Indonesia. She's one of the leader for the Indonesian CBDC project. And for the second guest speaker would be Mr. Eddy from Tether. As you guys know, Tether is one of the most exciting blockchain company out there. Most of you guys, I do believe, hold Tether somehow. And Eddy is currently spearheading the Tether's expansion in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. And the third speaker would be Mr. Yarnvith Raksri, or Mr. Park from Kasikorn Bank and Orbix Technology. I would like to kindly invite you, Pak. So Mr. Yarnvith or Mr. Park is a managing director of Orbix Technology. He's a deputy managing director of Kasikorn. So he developed one of the most financial use cases on top of this blockchain technology. And currently, the team that he handled, the Orbix Technology, partnering with 22 banks and 7 major Thai enterprises. He also spearheading Quarix, the blockchain infrastructure initiative run by Kasikorn. And the last speaker would be Thomas. So Mr. Thomas Chou, please, I invite you. So Mr. Thomas Chou is the head of marketing of Asia Pacific of Aptos Labs. So it's a very exciting use case that's being delivered by Aptos Labs, as Aptos Labs also involved in one of the tokenized deposit and CBDC project in Hong Kong. So let us start our session with today. So today I'm going to start, I think we have a good composition of the speakers today. So we have the regulators. So we do have 2 startups, 2 companies that issuing tokenized money. And we have also a bank that issuing a tokenized deposit. All those 3 come into, it's the same money, but it's a very different by the way it's being regulated, right? So perhaps I want to start from the non-bank first, right? I want to start with Eddy from Tether. Maybe perhaps, since USDT is definitely the most popular form of crypto now. So if I'm not mistaken, it counts 20% of the whole transaction in Indonesian crypto transaction, right? Maybe you can elaborate on how the USDT is being set up and how USDT add value to a lot of Indonesian users. Please.
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Mr. Tigran. So again, my name is Eddy. I'm helping Tether in terms of the expansion around this region. Focus majority in Indonesia. Again, I'm going to talk very slowly because I'm almost losing my voice. Anyway, to answer that question, I really need to bring everyone back into a history of how even USDT started, right? So USDT started from 2014, where the industry is growing, and USDT came out from a need from the market to actually have a pair in terms of doing a trading back in the days. That's how USDT started, and the biggest currency that is being circulated is definitely US dollar, and we created a digital dollar back then. So that's how the history started, and the rest is history, right? Every pairing right now is on USDT. Even we built a use cases out of just trading, we focus on the cross-border payment as well, using the infrastructure to move fund faster, more efficient, and I'm not going to say cheaper in cost, but it's more cost efficient. And then it also breaks out from sort of like a 9 to 5, working hours kind of situation, right? So that's how USDT kind of adding value and changing the world. I think in terms of the setup and also you're saying about how it also adding value from the digital asset side, right? So we always goes back to actually a real asset being tokenized, right? So most of our holding are in actually a real assets. Then you can see all in our website. It's very transparent of all the asset that we're holding, and it's backing up the USDT as of the value. So I think that's what keeping USDT very safe and also stable at this point.
Awesome, amazing. So I want to get into Thomas now. So Thomas, maybe you can elaborate a bit about the initiative that Aptos is actually doing related to these stablecoin or tokenized deposit, or perhaps CBDC, please.
Test. Hi everyone, I'm Thomas. I'm part of the marketing team at Aptos Labs here. For those who don't know about Aptos Labs, we are the layer 1 blockchain that's really designed for a very simple mission, right? To make money move faster, cheaper, easier for everyone. So give you a brief context where we are from. Our founding team is actually from Meta or Facebook back then. We were building a system called Diem, Libra project, where our core mission was to build a common payment system that worked across WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. While the Diem project didn't really fully launch, we took that mission right into our vision of financial inclusion, which is why we're working very closely with Eddy and the team to really bring stablecoin adoptions here in the regions at a global level. But in terms of stablecoins, we've been working very closely with the stablecoin partners such as Tether, as well as the retail partners such as SKT in South Korea. For those who don't know, SKT is the largest telecom companies out there, and we're enabling the stablecoin adoption through its 30 million users out there today. So we just recently announced a partnership. We're excited to see what that will bring to the South Korean market. What this really means is everybody in South Korea with the SKT account can really use the stablecoins to send money to friends and families, as well buy their groceries, pay their bills, right, really easily and affordably, right? And that's the ultimate goal here. I hope that you guys don't care about what Aptos is. I hope you guys care about what's been built in Aptos for such a use case. So today, really excited about sharing more about what we're doing here with stablecoin, as well as tokenized assets. But thank you again to Eddy and your team for bringing everything alive here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I want to get into Mr. Park now, right? So you're a bank and issuing money on blockchain, right? For some of us in different region, it sounds a bit crazy to do that. So maybe you can elaborate us, give us a clarity on your initiative, and perhaps, how is it related to the government's initiative in your country?
Thank you, Tigran. That's actually a good question, because I got asked a lot about why bank doing this. Actually, as a bank, we have been working in blockchain for almost 10 years already. We actually built a network of banks that exchange their financial instrument together. We have 20 banks in Thailand that running on this blockchain that we have built. And we see a lot of trends in ICO and everything. We have been issued movie back token. And as you can see, right, there's data on blockchain, there is an asset on blockchain. Right now what's missing is money itself. So that's why I think we want to try this all together, to make it as seamless as possible. Right now, if we buy any asset on chain, you need to either in Thailand right now you need to buy by using baht or using traditional way. But what we want to have is that we want to have an atomic swap on chain. That's what we want. So that's why I think that's what we try to work on is that we build our own Thai baht stable coin. To be politically correct, it's e-money, e-money on blockchain right now. There's just no license on bank deposit just yet. But then again, I mean, that's what we are doing. And I think the way we want to do in the future is that I think money would be the important part of cross-border activities, right? Like an exchange between asset across the country, exchange of money or something like that. I think that's why we want to get involved into this. Yeah.
Amazing. So now, Ibu Novi, right? So I think these things related to CBDC brings a lot of excitement, but also brings a lot of misconception, right? So I think if you may elaborate a bit about the vision of our Indonesian CBDC and what do you see in the future about how these initiative will be integrated into our financial system, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tigran, for asking the question. Actually, I'm happy to sit here regarding to your invitation to share about our CBDC products. Actually, maybe as you know, there is two types of CBDC in the world, right? The wholesale CBDC that can be accessed only for central bank and financial institutions. And the second one is the retail CBDC that can be used the public, include us, right? But once that the concept, we have to know that the CBDC is the liability of central bank. So it's for us, it's like, you know, money in the paper and coin. So it's just, the CBD is that money issued by the central banks, but in the digital form. It's different, you know, from the tokenized deposits or maybe, like this is like e-money we use today, but in the blockchain technology, right? So I think it's different from the CBDC is issued from central bank, and for the monetary concept is included in the base money. Our liability, bank central liability to the public. So I think it's very different with the tokenized deposit and etc. So as you know, from the white paper, we start the exploration of a CBDC or Rupiah Digital in the November 2022. So we launched the white paper. We start with the wholesale CBDC cash ledger. Why we start that? Because we know that we have to build the capacity, and we know that the financial institution have the more capacity to do that, to do the adopt the blockchain, right? So we start with the wholesale CBDC. I think we also finish our cash ledger CBDC, the proof of concept. As you mentioned before, we use the two technology, right? But we still have the homework to finish. And this year, I mean, in next year, we will move to the securities ledger or asset tokenization. Maybe we will follow the step that we use in the wholesale cash ledger. We will, you know, like, publish our consultative paper and then gather the public input for others, and then we will have all the proof on concept, and after that we will go to the cross border. I think for the medium term we will focus first in the domestic, but we will export for the cross border area, and after that, if we already convinced the concept, we will integrate it in the end-to-end with the retail CBDC. I think the retail is more complicated for us, especially we have, our banks have a lot of, in the intermediation. So we design the Rupiah Digital with zero interest rate. So I think with no worry about the intermediation.
So this very positive signals from central banks, right? Not only money in blockchain, but security settlement is one of the topics, and the cross-border, transaction and settlement is one of the agenda that officially being prepared by the central bank, right? So this might be sending, some urgency for the innovation department. For those of you in the innovation department or doing some innovative product, this is things that you guys need to pay attention to, right? So since the spirit today about the collaboration, right? So I think I want to throw some of the questions related to the collaboration with each within the stakeholders, right? I think I'm going into the Thomas, right? So what are the collaborative opportunities that you seek, whether in the region or perhaps in Indonesia, that actually will be related into your initiative, Thomas?
It's a really good question. I think there's a lot to be done here in Indonesia, but I can use another example here. We're doing the other wider region. For example, I think Hong Kong dollar could be a really good example here that we're doing in the APAC. As you guys know, we're working directly with the Hong Kong government as well 19 plus financial institutions to really drive the Hong Kong dollar pilot here. The ultimate goal here really test out how blockchain, right, can support government-backed digital currencies. And that includes the use case you guys mentioned about earlier. This could be a settlement or tokenized assets to offline payment even, right? And this really showcases how the public infrastructure, right, the permissionless Aptos network can support both personal as well as a large-scale operations, right? And that's backed by the government, while being really open as well as accessible, right, by everyone, without sacrificing security here. So looking forward to the conversation with you, perhaps after the session, to see how we can make that happen in Indonesia.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So for Mr. Park, right? So since Thai baht has already been tokenized, and you've already doing a lot of partnership with other jurisdiction. So any partnership that perhaps recently that you launched, in Singapore and other countries that you can share, and perhaps are there any, demand or something that you see in terms of collaborating with Indonesian institutions?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we have been partnered with JP Morgan. We announced a partnership with last May. Right now we have do remittance using our Thai baht token and with the USD on the Onyx network, which right now they call it Kinesis, right? They just changed their branding. So it's like a wholesale payment from a corporate in Thailand to 9 countries in their network in USD. It can be done 24/7 within 5 minutes. So that's what we did, and I think that bring a lot of attention to corporate as well. I mean, the funny side story is that we work with the partners, right, and partner corporate, and there's a partner that want to do like 24/7, but the other corporate right now maybe say that why we want 24/7 right now. Yeah, that's something that we need to educate, like not only for us regulators and the builders and everything, but I think like the user itself, like the corporate itself. That's one thing that I have been facing so far. And I think like another thing on the cross-border payment would be something really interesting, because like definitely like in Indonesia, tourism is one of the largest part of the GDP, right? So how can you get like a easily having no need to money to exchange or anything like that using the existing application, banking application coming to Indonesia and be able to pay that. I think that is something that we want to see. And other part I think we want to see would be something about asset itself. I think there have been a lot of mention about like traditional asset like bond and everything, right? But personally, right now, what interesting me, interested for me would be carbon credit because it have not been standardized just yet, and I think it's have a good time that it's a good timing that we get in there and maybe work together on how can we standardize that, how can we send over like the country and everything because there still not a regulation and working on permitting like selling across on carbon credit. It's different from traditional asset, right? And if I want to buy like a stock on NASDAQ, I would need to do through DR or something like that. So I think that's something that would be interesting. Would be cross-border payment, remittance, and maybe carbon credit. Yeah.
So you already look beyond money, right? With all different asset classes that you like, and commodities as well.
Yes.
On top of this blockchain technology.
Right.
It's amazing. So going to Tether, right? So as a market leader, you have an obligation, right, to actually nurture the ecosystem in a better way. So more pressure on you, Eddy. So what kind of a collaboration opportunity that you look and you seek, perhaps into this region? So perhaps you can elaborate a bit.
I think we just had a discussion with Mr. Park here. I think we were talking about building the relationship between Thailand and Indonesia and helping those two countries in terms of the money movement. Let's say for tourists, they can just come to Indonesia and they can use the on-ramp, off-ramp to actually converting from Thai baht and to Indonesian IDR. Then Tether will be the support infrastructure, right? I think that's one thing we can do. Tether is also looking at to help cross-border payment, for example, like small businesses or even medium businesses who wants to actually pay their supplier from overseas, or even from Indonesian workers overseas, which is, I think the amount right now is about 300,000 people, and I think the volume of incoming remittance is about $10 billion every year. So I think those are the captive market that we are looking to support because we see the value that we can bring to Indonesian people. And it helps actually reducing the cost, making it more efficient, timely manner. You can accept it anytime you want, working with Indonesian partner to actually off-ramp it to Indonesian IDR, right? So those are the things that we also looking at. If the audience have some time to actually go through our website, we have actually a lot of technology infrastructure that we already, built. Recently, last week we announced two products, which is a wallet as a service. It's an open source product, so you can use that and build your own wallet without any, we don't charge you anything. It's an open source. It's just a way of Tether giving back to the community and build the ecosystem together. The other one is, I think the announcement came out last Friday, is Hadron. Hadron is a tokenization platform. Now we go broader than just digital money. We go beyond than just digital money. So we can tokenize assets in, commodities, your loan, products, your bonds or anything like that. So by using Hadron, you can tokenize it. It's just a plug and play infrastructure technology that we already built and it's already launched last week. So I think, from the point of view that I can see 3 to 5 years, it's going to be bright future for all of us.
Awesome. As a disclaimer for some of your use cases, don't forget to ask permission.
Of course. We already exchanged numbers, so we definitely ask permission to Novi.
Don't do it without approval. So I think, Bu, since the spirit of collaboration, Bu, maybe perhaps you can, elaborate a bit about some of the collaborative initiative between central banks, perhaps with other governments, or perhaps central banks with, the private sector in the future, because I think public-private partnership has always been one of the agenda, right? Maybe we can have some clarity from your side.
Okay, thank you. It's very interesting. As you mentioned before, there is blockchain have a lot of opportunity regarding to the financial inclusion, including the cross-border payment, right? So, as the G20s mentioned, the cross-border payment is still have homework to reduce the cost, the reliability, and also, so on. So I think from Bank Indonesia perspective, we are open to collaborate with the other governments. We as we involved in the MBRIDS, but not as Bank of Thailand as the member of piloting. We still have observer member, but we will move to the piloting if we see in the scheme of MBRIDS is fit to us, right? Because in the timeline we see is we will explore cross-border after we finish the securities ledger or digital assets. So I think we also talk a lot of in the BIS Innovation Hub in the Swiss, Hong Kong, and the Singapore, of course. So we talked a lot of with them. Also with the IMF and the other central bank. I think we will talk with the Swiss in the next week, and then we will talk also with the United of Arab, UAE, central bank to discuss our projects on the CBDC. So we actually open to involvement also to the industry right now. Maybe it's the right time to announce that we already passed the proof of concept, and we see the feasibility to welcome the industry, and then we sandboxing in the banks in Indonesia. But in the next year, maybe we will conduct the sandboxing for the wholesale cash ledger.
See, this is a very interesting thing. So not only the progress has been delivered in terms of the POC using blockchain technology, and on the side, central banks is working very closely with other agencies and governments overseas. And as what Ibu Novi just alluded to, next year there's a potential sandbox. There's potential way for the private sectors to be able to contribute into the central bank's strategic initiative. So I think this is sending a very positive signals to the industry, especially for not only financial institutions, startups, but also for those that want to develop capabilities, understanding about this technology. This is one of the best momentum to actually start from today. So I think we already talked about the exciting things, but maybe this time is a non-fun things about risk, right? And I think it's more relevant to the banks. Maybe perhaps, since, from the traditional digital money and, now you do have a blockchain money, Mr. Park, what are the risks involved, like issuing these type of a new money?
Right now, like from our regulator point of view, most important part would be on privacy itself. Right now, like because we are under license of e-money license, right? And the e-money license, they kind of preserve like bank need to control the privacy of the data of the users. That also mean the amount of money that they should have, right? This is one thing that would be the challenge that we have been talking with them so far, because they never have like the concept of like a pseudonymity like what we have in the blockchain world, right? So I think that's the one thing that we have. But on other than that, I think they are quite open, and I think like from the bank point of view, like we are open to test that. We think that this kind of this kind of money on blockchain will bring a lot of innovation, rather than like making like there will be a lot of use here on that. Yep.
Amazing. Perhaps for Aptos side, right? So are there any learnings when you deal with governments, when you deal with institutions, what are the learnings that perhaps you can share to some of our audience and other institutions that want to seek exploring this technology that you can share?
Right, whether it's government, private sectors, right? We're ultimately at Aptos Lab, we care about the underlying technology we bring for you guys as infra, rather than front end the services or that we want to create ourselves, right? So I think ultimately we want to understand more about what the use case we want to bring out to the public. And for us, more about how can we make the blockchain solutions or financial solution in this case more digestible, right? More practical for everyday use cases. So you going back to the SKT use case, for instance, in South Korea, right? Bring a stable coin to them, allow them to do everything they do in everyday life, right? Much easier, more affordable, right? And for regular users, they don't care about that, right? What Web3 is. They care about, right, what the use cases is every day. Right? Is it cheaper? Is it faster, right? It's more affordable. So that's something we want to focus on. As long as the government side, institutional side, really hone down onto what they want to build, we're happy to explore more angle from that angle. Whether it's from the Hong Kong dollars to tokenized assets, settlement tokenized assets, to even offline payments, right? I think that's something deeper we have a conversations on. Once again, it all depends on the use cases as well, the ultimate goal here.
So, okay, since I need to be mindful with the timing here, so maybe, I can get a sense about, how you guys as institutions are hopeful about Indonesian landscape. Maybe, start from each of you. Maybe we can share not only about your own initiative, what are you hopeful about Indonesia as a whole? Perhaps Thomas can elaborate with.
Sounds good. As I mentioned earlier, Aptos Labs, we think blockchain is more than just technology, right? We want to make the everyday life easier for everybody who uses the technology, whether it's like provided by the retail service like telecom services, as well government like bodies. We want to make sure it's part of the everyday life. With that being said, we're looking forward to kind of continue this conversation with everyone here on the panel today and see how can we bring that to everyday life here in Indonesia, right? Whether it's cross-border payments, with remittance, right? That's a bigger part of the economy here. We want to really explore that and see how Aptos as a blockchain network can support that using this faster, cheaper, right? As well like secure network out here.
Yeah. Amazing, thank you. Mr. Park?
Okay. I think for me, innovation is the best part. It's the most important part. Right now, like a bank itself cannot innovate fast enough to address like the need of the consumers, right? I think if we can open the money and put in the hand of inventor and innovators through blockchain technology that can be controlled, that can be safeguarded and have a proper consumer protection. There will be a lot of innovation coming out. I think that's the most important part that I see from blockchain point of view, that why we need this. Because we want, in the end of the day, bank want to be bank, and innovation should be on the hand of the one who actually innovate, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Eddy?
I think I was born and grew up here in Indonesia, so I think bringing value back to Indonesia is always been in my heart. So I think with my capacity right now with Tether, we always want to work with central bank, Bank Indonesia, and definitely with OJK, the SEC of Indonesia, to actually build something together to grow Indonesian ecosystem, to bring value from overseas to Indonesia. Because at the end of the day, we love this country and we want to grow this country to be Indonesia Emas 2045.
Amazing.
So I think that's something that, speak from my heart.
Thank you so much. Ibu, what's your hope and expectation from the private sectors, right? So from the local talents as well, maybe you can.
Actually, I am, to be honest, very happy to see, there's a lot of people interesting regarding to the opportunity of blockchain, because as Bank Indonesia know, there is a great opportunity to using the blockchain in our financial institution, including financial markets. So I think we are happy to work with the private sector. As I mentioned before, we will see the feasibility to have sandboxing to the project Garuda, and we are happy if you can join us to learn about the opportunity to use the blockchain in the financial system.
Thank you so much, Bu. It's very proud today, Bu. I think this morning we had a session that is very odd, Bu. I mean, for the blockchain event, we have FBI, we have a cybercrime police, we have a PPATK, or financial transaction, bringing together with a full house today. So I'm very, very hopeful that, you know, we can, together we can actually shape a very healthy ecosystem for Indonesia. Thank you very much. Please give applause to the amazing audio panelists today. Thank you very much. I give the MC.
Once again, give it up for our moderator and also all the speakers who have discussed about the team. We would like to the moderator and also the speakers to come to the center of the stage. We're gonna have a photo station. Okay, I will count down 3, 2, 1. Give your best smile. And once again, 3, 2, 1. All right then, so